for tuning in to Bringing the Nations Together. I'm your host, Billy Lewis, and by now, you're probably wondering, what is Bringing the Nations Together? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's a movement put together by the president and CEO of JCPP Inc. to put together a team to travel the world. There's so much going on in our world right now, building a wall, this is happening, that's happening. So we wanted to go out there and break down the barriers and see what the world has to offer. In the midst of our travels, we met some amazing people in Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, in Brazil during Carnival, which is coming up next, in the Caribbean, and so many other amazing places that we're going to bring to you. But the primary focus of our show is to educate you on the study of flags. The study of flags is called vexillology, and we want to bring that information to you because it's so heavy and rich in heritage and rich to the indigenous people of all of the countries that we've had to travel. We look forward to giving you all of this information, so we want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy our first episode as we bring to you Brazil during Carnival. Hey everybody, and welcome to Bringing the Nations Together. Finally, we are able to record our first episode. Now, I know you're wondering, like we did our intro and you finally know what Bringing the Nations Together is all about. And you're wondering what took so long? Well, we're actually, as you can see, we are at sea. We are one of many people that are aboard cruise ships right now that are anchored at sea between Fort Lauderdale and the Bahamas due to the coronavirus pandemic. So first of all, yes, we are fine. We are okay. We are not at liberty to say what ship we are on. We do have close ties to the entire cruise industry, and but just know that any passengers or any crew that are on board any vessel at this point are being well taken care of. The ship that we're on, there are no cases of the virus that have been present, so we're very fortunate. We've kind of been sitting here for about close to 2 weeks now, and we're just waiting like everybody else, but we're fine. So we wanted to get our first episode up and rolling for you, and it just seemed ironic as we were talking to our production team a little while ago that Bringing the Nations Together was a vision that our CEO had a little while ago, a couple of years ago, and now here we are in the midst of a pandemic, and that pandemic is bringing the nations together, not just because like it's just something that our world needs to do and it just needs to happen. It's because we're being forced to do it. The universe, the earth, Mother Earth and Mother Nature has twisted our arm to bring us all together as one, because you know what, we are losing friends and families and colleagues to this virus, and it is global, it is worldwide. So bringing the nations together is happening. So we're very excited about bringing this first episode. We were able to get to Brazil for Carnival before the pandemic had stretched out on a global mark, and we had a great time. The food, the costumes, the float, and we even got a private performance from a dance troupe out there in Brazil. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about Brazil's flag, what all of that represents, and then we'll take you through some of those floats and the dance party that took place for us in Brazil. So get ready, here we go, Brazil 2020. Brazil makes up about 47% of South America, with a population of 210 million people, making it South America's largest country. The name Brazil comes from a tree named Brazil wood. The Portuguese claimed the land of Brazil in 1500, which is why it is the only country in South America that speaks Portuguese. The national animal of Brazil is the jaguar. Every year, the biggest festival in the world is held right before Lent, with over 2 million people in attendance taking over the streets of Rio. You guessed it, it's Carnival. And the first Carnival was in 1723 in Rio. To the surprise of many, Carnival in Brazil is an association with the Catholic Church. As you can see, many of the floats do have religious undertones to them. The word carnival comes from the Latin term carne vale, meaning goodbye flesh. when the Catholic worshippers would feast in preparation for the following 40 days of Lent. There are other notable dates that have taken place in Brazil, such as 1690. That is when the biggest gold rush in South America took place right there in Brazil. In 1822, Brazil then claimed their independence from Portugal. And in 1889, they claimed their current flag, which we are going to discuss right now. Now, Brazil's flag is often called verde e amarelo, which means in Portuguese, green and yellow. And looking at the flag, you'll see it has a green background with a yellow area in the middle. And in the middle of that yellow area, it has a blue circular area that has several stars on it, which we'll talk about later. And in the middle of that circular area, there's a band that reads Ordem e Progresso, which means order and progress. But first, let's talk about that green area. The green is a symbol of the forest. Yes, the forest. As you may or may not know, the Amazon covers much of the northwestern portion of Brazil and extends into Colombia, Peru, and other South American countries. Now, that yellow area, it represents... Remember that gold rush we talked about that happened in 1690? Well, that's exactly what that yellow area stands for. It represents gold. Mining gold in Brazil is a significant source of revenue, but the nation is not one of the world's largest gold producers. However, it does hold significant reserves, making it an important destination for gold explorers. Again, Brazil's gold rush was huge in the 1690s, and it was because Brazil was a colony of the Portuguese Empire at that time. The gold rush opened up the major gold producing area of Ouro Preto, which is Portuguese for black gold, and it was aptly renamed Vila Rica, which means rich town. Now let's talk a little bit about that blue circle in the middle. That blue circle is a sphere, and it represents the Brazil night sky. It is the most beautiful sky that you'd ever want to see, especially at night. It is pristine blue, and every star has its own way that it lights up across the sky. If you look at that sphere, you'll notice that there's a lot of stars right there in the middle of it. That's because those stars represent the 26 states of Brazil and their one federation. Brazil's flag is also one of 5 flags around the world to display the Southern Cross on their flag. As you can see, Brazil is just rich. It is rich in culture, rich in heritage, rich in gold, and rich in the night sky with those beautiful stars. But now we're going to fast forward and take you to a rich performance that took place right here in Carnival. Yes, we had a dance troupe come in and give us a performance of a lifetime, and we want to share it with you. So welcome to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro in Carnival. Okay, everybody, and that concludes our episode of Brazil. We want to thank you for watching Bringing the Nations Together. And as we close out tonight's episode, we're going to do so with the blowing of the horns. While all of the ships are stuck at sea during this COVID-19 pandemic, we are blowing our horns at 7:30 every night together in solidarity until we make it home. Until next episode, stay safe, and we'll see you around the globe.
Shot,